The United States of America has fallen into economic disarray, and the leader of that economic disarray, Donald Trump, is also controlled by Elon Musk, who everything that man touches turns to garbage because he is a misinformation machine. And the EU has had it, according to the New York Times. The EU prepares major penalties against Elon Musk's X, and here's why. European Union regulators are preparing major penalties against Elon Musk's social media platform X for breaking a landmark law to combat illicit content and disinformation, said four people with knowledge of the plans. A move that is likely to ratchet up tensions with the United States by targeting one of President Trump's closest advisors. Here's the thing. Elon Musk, on Twitter, or X, whatever he calls it, he goes in and he tries to stop facts, expertise, real information, and he promotes lies and disinformation. Then he runs around screaming about free speech. This man is a one-man wrecking crew who we see crying around about his Tesla stock. And it is unbelievable what a big titty baby liar he is. You've got the liar in chief and the first lady in chief, both intimately locked together with Donald Trump and his administration. And one thing that we are also finding, and I think this is delicious because all we've heard about is poor Elon, nobody's buying his trucks, his Tesla stock's going to shit because he's a Nazi, because he is firing Americans without cause and illegally breaking the Constitution. So now it is being reported Elon Musk's widely derided Tesla truck now stands alone as the biggest flop in automotive history, according to experts. That brings me great joy. And in my opinion, the Cybertruck is an outward manifestation of Elon Musk and his alleged ketamine hazes. I mean, it's exactly what you would think of on a ketamine trip, I think. The problem is, who are the people buying it? What's their excuse? But moving on, as Doge continues to just run through the federal government, break laws, do unconstitutional things, we find out not only are they getting into all our private information, they are also breaking in and getting private access to therapy records and mental health information of children. Raw Story says one of Elon Musk's Doge team members gained access to highly sensitive data involving thousands of children, including their mental health and therapy records. This is pathetic. Therapy and mental health is such an ongoing issue, and the privacy that comes with it is so sacred to building those relationships. And it is gross that someone the likes of a big balls type person that works for Elon Musk would have access to this. It is repugnant. Everything about it should disturb every single American, and every single pro-MAGA guy that's rah Donald Trump and Elon Musk needs to remember these two men don't give a shit about you, and they have shown it over and over, and it's time you get the message. So one thing that continues to happen because of Trump's ridiculously terrible AI made up tariffs is the stock market is plummeting. Prices are going to go through the roof. What's interesting about this is Fox News. It was so bad yesterday that Fox News, who's had the stock ticker on their air for decades, took it down because it was such a faceplant by Donald Trump. But people are going to start feeling this in their pocketbooks. And even the triple Trumpers, who are probably going to suffer the most from high prices and inability to access goods, farmers losing their crops and land, they're going to get the message. But here's something very interesting, that even Ben Shapiro, who we all know is as right-wing as you can get, he is in the MAGA right-wing echo chamber, and he is going off on Donald Trump and his tariffs.
President Trump declared that it was, in fact, Liberation Day. His giant tariff policy that he just dropped on the market unilaterally, probably unconstitutionally. Trump's reciprocal tariffs impose hundreds of billions of dollars in new taxes on Americans, be the largest tax increase since the Revenue Act of 1968. one of the biggest tax increases on American consumers in the history of America. And it's going to cost American consumers. It will cost American producers who use inputs from other countries.
Okay, Ben Shapiro gets it. Everyone gets it except Donald Trump, which leaves me to the question of why is he doing this? Is he so incompetent? And then I think what he is so corrupt. And this allows rampant corruption. It enriches the oligarchy. All these stocks go down. The oligarchy can buy into it. Or Trump can say, your company doesn't want the tariff. What are you going to give me for it? It appears to me this is a way for Trump to bring people in and give him power and bend the knee and say, what can you do for me? And then I'll change the policy of the United States. So you have to do something for me to receive it. It is gross. It is such corruption and abuse of a fiduciary duty by a president. It's unmitigated in history. Now we have JP Morgan, who is forecasting at 60% a recession.
Morgan upping its recession odds to 60% from 40% previously, citing obviously the tariffs, the effect on business sentiment, the effect on investment, and the effect on and on consumer prices. They said, quote, these policies, if sustained, would likely push the U.S. and possibly global economy into recession this year.
And you know who doesn't have to worry about a recession? You know who doesn't have to worry about prices? Donald Trump, Elon Musk, and the oligarchy that back them. It doesn't matter to them how much the price of eggs are. Donald Trump has never even been to the grocery store. These people want to bankrupt America because that will dismantle democracy. That is my opinion. That is shared by many experts. It is a absolute shame that so many Americans had to fuck around with Trump 3 times, and now they're about to find out. And the European Union and Canada, they're all going to rally together. China, South Korea, and Japan, they're rallying together economically. Do you know how hard it is to get Japan, China, and South Korea on the same page? Donald Trump's able to do it with his absolute utter corruption. And I just thought this was interesting that the Financial Times says, if it endures Donald Trump's decision on April 2nd, 2025 to enact sweeping reciprocal tariffs on U.S. trade partners will go down as one of the greatest acts of self-harm in American economic history. They will wreak untold damage on households, businesses, and financial markets across the world, upending a global economic order that America benefited from and helped to create. Donald Trump is an agent of chaos. Donald Trump bankrupted casinos. Donald Trump has filed bankruptcy 6 times. He is no stranger to bankruptcy and going broke. And I believe that what he is doing right now is bankrupting America and Americans so that he can have the power and he can force companies to bend the knee to him, and he should be impeached. And 2 things I want to leave you with. All we hear about is Doge is so efficient. Though we've never seen any evidence, we're being gaslit, but there's no evidence that Doge is finding anything. What we're finding is that Doge is firing people and having to rehire people because they're not efficient. They're not taking a look at what needs to be done and what needs to be cut. They're just bulldozing through it. So it turns out the incompetency of Doge, RFK Jr. is right there with them. So he has, on the ABC News reports, on the heels of terminating 10,000 jobs from the Department of Health and Human Services this week, Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. told ABC News some programs would be reinstated because they were mistakenly cut. This can be avoided. This is the exact opposite of efficiency. Look to see what you're doing. Don't just bulldoze people because you think it's cute and you don't give a shit. Try harder. We demand better. And then just one thing, because I like to leave on hopium and just a little giggle, yet another right-winger, anti-LGBTQIA plus person has been caught. Right-wing anti-LGBTQ plus education activist exposed as a former gay adult film actor report. Because that's what they do. They try to hurt things like people's sexuality because they want to be them, because they have it in themselves and they're trying to convince themselves. The bigger someone is talking about how bad LGBTQIA plus people are, it is because they themselves are feeling those feelings and they don't like it, whether it be religious or some type of inner child issue. Every time you have a super outspoken anti-gay person, there's always something naughty about gay going on in their head, and it's ridiculous. Come out, join the freedom, be sexually active with whoever you want. You don't have to hide. But again, the right wing, whatever they say, they are doing the opposite. Stick with us for more news.